This streamlined packing method allows us to pack clothing for a family of 5 into just 3 carry-on bags. When packing light for cold, snowy weather, we make capsule wardrobes based upon a 4-layer system. I will explain the function of each layer of clothing, as well as how many pieces we pack per person. It's not just the clothing layers that matter, but also the material of which the clothing is made. Our family packs merino wool and alpaca fiber clothing because it is thin and lightweight relative to the amount of warmth it provides. Wool also moves sweat away from your body, so you don't end up damp and cold. And it continues to keep you warm even when wet. Our heavyweight wool pants hardly ever need to be washed and lanolized, and our wool shirts, which I wash more frequently, are easy to either hand or machine wash. And they dry much more quickly than our cotton or rayon clothing, especially in Hokkaido where the winter air is very dry. Most of all, I choose wool because it is a natural fiber. Before we get into the 4 layers that we wear outside, let's not forget pajamas to sleep in. I have my kids change into their pajamas after dinner since they tend to be messy at meals and get food or drinks onto their clothing. This allows me to wash any dirty clothes from that day. This way we can have very few outfits and just keep washing and re-wearing them. When packing light, I like to pack pajamas that we can also wear out and about if we run out of clean clothes. My kids' pajama sets can also be worn as base layers under their winter clothing. Each of our kids has a set of pajamas that are 100% merino wool by Wee Woolies. I love the fun, bright colors. This is a fairly thin wool, and it could get a hole in it, but I have a patch kit ready just in case. For us adults, our pajamas are loungewear that we could wear around the hotel or Airbnb. I have a pair of leggings, a wool camisole, and a cashmere sweater. My husband has Iksplor joggers, a Paca sweater, which is made of alpaca fibers plus recycled nylon, and one of his unbound wool shirts. Now onto the 4 layers we wear for playing out in the snow. Base layers are worn closest to the skin. They can also be called thermals or long johns. Their function is to wick moisture away from your skin so you don't get damp and cold. We really like 100% merino wool base layers since wool is naturally moisture wicking. These base layers can be used interchangeably as pajamas. Each of our kids has an Iksplor base layer set. Thank you to Iksplor for contributing 2 base layer sets for this video. I love that Iksplor items are made with a lot of length, so it's easy for our kids to get 2 winters wear out of them. For me, I pair a long sleeve shirt and leggings. For George, he has a long sleeve merino wool shirt, and he can repurpose his Iksplor joggers as his base layers. The top portion of our base layer is more likely to get dirty from things like eating and sweating, so we only have 1 bottom base layer, but we have 2 additional long sleeve base layers to make for 3 long sleeve shirts. I also have 2 dresses and a skirt. You can watch my separate video on my wardrobe to see how my outfits come together. The mid layer is worn over the base layer, and it traps body heat to help keep you warm. It tends to be a bit thicker than a base layer while still being fairly form-fitting. Common types of mid layers include a hoodie with jogging pants or a sweatshirt and sweatpants. You may not need to wear a full mid-layer set for going out in the cold, as your legs tend not to get as cold as the upper portion of your body, especially if you're walking or otherwise active. So our outfits for wearing out in the snow only include a mid-layer hoodie on the top part. The full mid-layer sets are great for lounging around indoors. They're a warmer option than just thin pajamas. Our kids also like to wear the jogger sets as their travel day outfits for airplane flights. 2 of our kids have Iksplor jogger sets. Our youngest has a Bumby sweater, and I'm getting him a lightweight jogger set as well. For us grown-ups, we each have a merino wool hoodie sweater. The 3rd layer is the insulating layer. This traps even more body heat than the mid layer, helping to keep you warm. In order to trap a lot of warm air, this layer may be bulky. Common types of insulating layers are knit wool sweaters or puffy jackets that are filled with wool fiber, alpaca fiber, down feathers, or synthetic fibers. I've heard that down doesn't keep you as warm once it gets wet. It loses its insulating properties. I've never personally put this to the test, but I do make sure my daughter wears her waterproof rain jacket over her down jacket if she's going to be rolling around out in the snow and getting wet. Instead of a puffy jacket, our youngest son has a Desana boiled wool jacket. Then our other 2 kids have Montbell puffy jackets. My husband and I both have some pretty old puffy jackets that are filled with wool fibers, but they've been compressed in our luggage for so long that they're not very puffy anymore. At some point, I would like to replace them with the Paca Apu lightweight puffer jackets, which are filled with alpaca fiber, which gives you even more warmth with less bulk. For the bottom portion of my kids' insulating layer, they have 2 pairs of heavyweight woolies by Truly Carious, and I also have 1 pair of Mama heavyweight leggings. George has unbound merino travel pants, which are not nearly as warm as our heavyweight wool pants. The final layer is outerwear that blocks rain, snow, and wind. While you want it to be waterproof, you also want it to be somewhat breathable so that it doesn't just trap all the sweat inside your layers. You might want a complete outerwear set if you're somewhere in wet, slushy conditions. However, based on our last winter trip to Hokkaido, Japan, the air was very dry and the snow was powdery, so we got away with just rain jackets on the upper half. With their heavyweight wool pants being the outermost layer, the snow does stick to them, but then it melts and runs off without really getting their pants wet. Our kids are going to wear their same Rima rain jackets from last year. Those have been great also just for when it's raining but not so cold. I'll link to the US Rima website below. It's a great source for kids' outerwear. In addition to rainwear, they also have insulated snowsuits. I have a North Face rain jacket. George doesn't have a rain jacket just because he doesn't want another item to have to carry around. So instead, he just uses an umbrella. One packing hack for winter travel is to rent or buy clothing at your destination. We plan to head over to Sapporo Factory the day after we arrive in Sapporo, Japan. It's an indoor shopping mall and they have a lot of stores selling outdoors clothes, including Montbell. So we plan to pick up some insulated waterproof snow pants for George, more wool socks for the kids, and I might get a puffy vest for my toddler as well. We each have a thin merino wool beanie for our head and then a neck gaiter or balaclava to keep our neck warm. We will also use a layering system for our hands. My 2 youngest have Bumby wool mittens for insulation, and then I got them waterproof lined mittens by Rima so they can layer those over the top. For my older son, he likes to be able to use his iPad, so I got him Ibex merino wool glove liners that are touchscreen compatible, and then some thicker, more insulated mittens by Rima. My husband and I each have glove liners as well. We're going to be needing to use our phone while we're out in the snow. And then we have Bumby wool mittens for more insulation. And wool socks. Our kids each have at least 1 pair of wool socks, and then we need to buy them a couple more pairs once we get to Hokkaido. My husband and I each have 3 pairs of wool socks. Of course, we'll also pack underwear, and I will bring 1 swimsuit per family member to use in onsen hot springs, but I'm going to pack those separately. The plan is to each bring 2 pairs of shoes on the trip, so we will wear our bulky snow boots onto the airplane, plus we'll each have a pair of water-resistant shoes that I will pack in our checked suitcase for the spring portion of our trip. Did I mention that I'm packing for 3 months? The very first step is to set aside our travel day airplane outfits, since those won't be getting packed. Here's how I pack our 5 capsule wardrobes into just 3 carry-on bags. When you're trying to pack as light as possible, it's important to think not only about what you're packing, but also the bags you will be packing it into. I'll be using 1 weekender bag that slides on top. This is super lightweight. And then we'll be taking 2 rolling carry-on suitcases. This one by Delcy is a bit heavier than I'd like. This one is the July carry-on light, which I'm super excited about. I shared about this in a previous video. It's advertised to weigh 1.8 kg. On my scale, it comes in at about 2 kg, so it weighs around 4 pounds, which is super lightweight for a rolling suitcase. This is really important because on our flight from Singapore to Japan, there's a weight limit of 10 kg per person for carry-on bags, and then when we fly within Japan, there's a weight limit of just 7 kg per person for carry-on bags. Let's pack. it's coming in right at 7.0 kg. So if I had 2 of these, I could get all of our bags within a 7 kg weight limit. More likely, I'll be packing the boys' clothes into this Delsey. This one's a bit heavier, so fully packed, this one would weigh 8 kg. For the weekender bag, I'll pack items that we might want to wear as soon as we arrive in Sapporo and head to our hotel. Success! In addition to those 3 carry-on bags, we will also each bring a backpack onto the airplane with valuables such as our laptops. But I'll save those for a separate video. That's how our family of 5 stays plenty warm while still packing light for a winter snow trip. Let me know in the comments your tips or hacks for packing for cold weather. Please subscribe for more packing tips and travel inspiration.
Thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe.